is Alabama's Morning News. I'm JT, and joining us now, a partner in the law firm of Crain Brogdon and Rogers. It's Quentin Brogdon. Thanks for being back with me, Quentin. Good to have you.
Good morning, JT. How are you there in Alabama?
Fantastic. This is a crazy story. I want to talk to you about this because I saw this a couple of days ago that some banks in the UK now have gone so far as to threaten to close bank accounts for people who refuse to wear a mask in a branch without a legitimate exemption. It just reminds me of that Seinfeld episode, the soup Nazi, when you walk up, like you walk up to the teller in this bank without a mask. No bank account for you. Hey, move along. So is this, really something they're doing?
Well, they're doing it in the UK, two of these banks, HSBC, which is one of the largest banks in the world, but that's UK. No American bank, to my knowledge, has done it. As far back as June of 2020, the American Bankers Association recommended that its members require masks for customers, but it's a whole nother level. It takes no shirt, no shoes, no service to an extreme that most of us, I don't think, are prepared to deal with. And my recommendation, if I was advising an American bank, would be to not be doing this. You're opening yourself up to all kinds of potential claims because you'd have to enforce this, uniformly, and that might not be as easy as it sounds. And then you're going to have to give your customers notice. These customers signed up for an account under written terms, and one of them was not wear a mask or have your account closed. So you're going to have to, in all probability, amend your agreements with your customers, give them notice of that, and then enforce it uniformly. And I just think it's a whole bag of worms you don't want to deal with unless you really have to.
Yeah, the banking industry, there's so many laws and regulations and rules that you start doing that and messing with people's money. I would imagine you get into all kinds of different federal, state, and, problems that could be disastrous for a bank. But let's talk about it a step further in a bigger picture. Where we're at in this whole pandemic and coming out of it with more people getting vaccinated, but it's starting to plateau off a little bit with those who, are not going to get vaccinated, probably aren't ever going to do it because they've already made their mind up. More people are opening up, whether it's retail, going back to restaurants, going back to work, going back to school. Some people still wear masks. I was in a restaurant over the weekend. Half of the crew had masks, half didn't. I said, well, what's the difference here? Well, those without the masks on our staff have been vaccinated. Those that haven't are still wearing the masks. So when it comes to banks or schools or employers, do you see the potential for some legal issues here as we get back open in the demands from one side versus the other side saying, I'm not doing the vaccine and I don't feel good about wearing the mask anymore?
Yeah, the problem for a business is you have a whole grab bag of sometimes inconsistent rules and regulations. You've got the federal level, and President Biden, issued a 100-day mask mandate, but that was only applicable to federal buildings and federal employees and contractors. And then you have OSHA. Biden tasked OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, with, issuing some temporary emergency standards. I think they're still working on those. Then you have this, each state is different of our 50 states, and then municipalities, the local areas and counties, sometimes they're not even consistent with the state they're in, and you have sometimes governors of a state saying, well, you don't have to obey the mandate of your local county judge or mayor or whoever it may be. So it's very confusing if you're
then you've got private business owners that have the right to say, I got a business, I'm putting up my own rules, and the municipalities and the governments and local and state levels have said, we're not going to mandate it, but those businesses have the right to do that, or a school system may have the right to do that.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
We're at a crossroads, aren't we?
Yeah, it's putting a lot of the onus on the business. And if you're a business, you're in some sense in a no-win situation because some of your customers are going to be happy if you require masks and maybe even a proof of vaccination, for example. Others of your customers are not going to like that at all. So you're in the front lines. Yeah.
We are certainly at a crossroads right now, and I would imagine we've got a lot more legal discussions on all this as we start to open back up again. All right, Quentin, thank you very much. I appreciate you